What is up, guys? Aaron here to do a Dragunity deck profile. I initially built the deck over the summer on Dueling Book, but it finally took me this long to get all the cards, so let's just get started with the video. Starting us off, we got 3 Phalanx and 3 Kus. These are your Dragunity tuners. They summon themselves when they're equipped to a monster, and you could use them for Guardragon plays or Synchro plays, so that's pretty good. Kus has the restriction of being able to only be used for Dragunity Synchro monsters when used for a Synchro summon, but it also has an additional ability where you can make him level 4, which gives us access to Dragunity Knight Barca, which we'll go over in the extra deck. Moving on to the level 4s, we're running 3 Ducks, 3 Senatus. Now I'm running the Ducks because we do have a lot of ways to dump. We have Dragon Shrine and Dragon Ravine, so if you have a Ducks and a dead card in hand, you could just send a Dragunity to graveyard and then combo from there. But Senatus is kind of like a Ravine built into a monster. So if you have a Dragunity card, discard that monster, and then you just equipped a Dragunity monster from deck onto him, and then you go off from there. So yeah. Next up, I am running the 3 Mistletoe. He's your extender of the deck. He is arguably the best high level Dragunity because he summons himself by sending a Dragunity monster to the graveyard. It doesn't matter what level or what type, as long as it says Dragunity, you could send it and then extend your combos from there. And then additionally, when he's summoned by his own effect or from the hand in general, he equips a Dragunity from the graveyard, so he's just a better version of Ducks and Senatus in that regard. And then the last Dragunity card is Dragunity Armor Leviathan. He's level 8. When he's summoned, he equips a Dragunity monster from the graveyard. And then, yeah. His secondary effect isn't that relevant because you're going first. But when he does get destroyed by card effect, he will special summon any equipped monsters equipped to him. So that's pretty cool to keep in mind. Moving on to like the non-Dragunity monsters of the deck. So 3 Garuda, he's your combo extender. This is effectively a 6th, 7th, and 8th copy of Ducks and or Senatus, since he just summons himself for effectively free, since most of the time you'll have a wind monster in the graveyard, so he'll just summon himself for free, and then you get to make level 6s and level 8s just off of that. 1 Zephyros, he's your combo piece. He bounces either Red Eye's Darkness Metal or Leviathan, but he's pretty good. I am wanting the 1 Draco. He summons himself, he's just an extender, so yeah. And I didn't opt to run more of him just because I didn't want to open multiples of him in any given match and then be like, oh, this is a brick. 1 Darkworm, he's an extender. Basically, if you control no monsters, he's a free summon. And then you have like 6 ways to get access to him, so he's not a bad pick. 1 Destrudo. I know you can run 3, but I want to mitigate as many hard ones per turns in the main deck as possible, so I'm just running 1 of him. And also, I don't like the whole pay half of my life points. It's Destrudo's more of a last resort type card if you can't combo at all unless you have Destrudo. So yeah. 1 Tempest. He's a Rhoda for the deck because everything's wind and dragon. Or wind or dragon, so you could discard him and a Phalanx, and then search out Mistletoe, which is pretty good. Or you could use Garuda to banish him, and then when Garuda's summon resolves, you could activate Tempest to search Mistletoe. So that's pretty nuts. If Tempest goes to 3, I might consider just playing this deck more often, but until then, not really. This is your Sphere's target. Goliath just locks out your opponent out of playing the game, and they have to break your negates, and then they have to deal with not being able to summon. Last monster in the deck is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. He loops everything, and he's just good in the deck. Moving on to spells, no traps for this deck because you're a combo deck. 3 Ravine, 1 Terraforming. This is your Rhoda for the deck, but if you open like a way to dump a tuner to grave or Sanitus and a tuner, so it doesn't matter whether you open a Ravine or not. One thing I like about what they did with this deck was that they made it so that you don't rely on Ravine, but it's a good consistency piece. You could play entire matches without activating Ravine, even though it's the Dragunity Rhoda. So, yeah. As long as you have access to Romulus, you're good. Speaking of access to Romulus, 3 Called by the Grave, you need to resolve him. Impermanenting him isn't the end of the world, because if you have extenders, you could just straight up play through it. But mostly you want to avoid Ghost Ogre or Ash Blossom, so those 2 are the main reason why you run this. So yeah. 1 Divine Lance, because you search him off of Romulus. You don't necessarily want to open it, but if you do, you just search out Ravine instead of this. And then 1 Foolish Burial with 2 Dragon Shrines. Effectively 3 copies of Foolish Burial, because most of the time you're going to be sending Darkworm or Dragunity tuner of your choice. But Foolish Burial has the secondary perk of being able to send Zephyros. So there's that. Last 3 cards in the deck are basically 3 versions of Monster Reborn. Again, you want to mitigate on any hard ones per turn effects. So you run this, or World Legacy Guardragon and Succession. But I'm considering cutting this in favor for a second one of Succession so that you see it more. So yeah. Succession is a good extender because you could summon a Winged Beast when you need a one, as opposed to World Legacy Guardragon, which only summons dragons. So that is it for the main deck. Going into extra deck, starting us off with the synchros for the level 6s, we got Guardragon, Vajrayana, and Lewin. These 2 have been standard in all Dragunity decks. I'm running this because you could make Darkworm. You can make Lewin using Darkworm and a Dragunity tuner, and then you could go into a rank 6 play or something like that. So it gives more value, I suppose. But the main reason why is you could go into Vajrayana and then summon a Lewin and then go for Atum. That's the only reason why I run this as opposed to a second Vajrayana. So yeah. For the level 8s, running 2 Barca. This is effectively the most underused Dragunity synchro until Kus existed. So like you didn't have a reliable way to summon this because it requires a Winged Beast and a Dragunity tuner, so you can't like summon it using Vajrayana. So now that Kus exists, you can make Kus level 8 and then synchro summon using Sanitus, and then you summon this. And then if you have like 2 or 3 Phalanxes or Kuses in graveyard, you could equip all of them, and then that's effectively like a 2-card Romulus plus LP and Pisty combo off of 2 cards. So that's a lot of value. I run 2 just because 1 combo requires you to, or all of the combos require you to go into at least 1, but if you have Senatus and a Dragunity monster, you need the second one to make a 2 card Romulus and Guardragon loop. So yeah. And then for your negates, I'm running Boral Savage and Crystal Wing. This is hard to get in general unless you just straight up shell money out for it, but I'm not gonna do that because I traded it off for Signet Mining. So yeah. For the XZs, I'm running 1 Atom and 1 Hope Harbinger. This is part of a new combo so that you can consistently end on 4 negates without having to effectively get lucky with Saryuja. So you could reliably summon Crystal Wing mid combo and then go off from there. Definitely not before 5 summons, but mid combo before you commit too many resources is pretty nice. And then for the Link monsters, aforementioned Pisty, LP, and Romulus combo. These 3 are kind of notorious in general just because Pendulum uses this. So yeah. For LP, you summon Leviathan instead of Red Eyes Darkness Metal because you need them for the level 8 shenanigans. So yeah. And then, surprise, surprise, Spheres, Triple Burst, and Saryuja. So yeah. These are your standard Guardragon combo cards. And yeah. That's it for this video, I suppose. I will showcase a combo video in a separate video just because I don't want this video to be too long. So signing off. Hope you guys liked the video. See you next time. Bye.